Well, guys, welcome back. It is the GSL Code A, as you can see from our giant medallion. I am Doa. With me is Wolf. We've seen some pretty awesome mirror matches, but the time for mirror matches is over, Wolf.
Time is over.
It's time now.
The time for Sage versus Lucky.
Yeah.
A PVZ. Now, this is going to be a pretty intense match.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sage is really good, and he's been really hyped recently.
Yeah. He's like the Protoss Dongregu with the amount of hype that this guy's gotten, for sure.
Lucky's kind of like been in the shadows for a while for most people. I've obviously had a lot of time to work with this guy and see him. And I have to say he's really good. In fact, I'd say they're about on the same level.
Really?
It's hard to say who's really the better player here.
Well, it's going to be interesting. If Lucky ends up winning, we'll have FXO players going 3 for 3 today. FXO doing really well in Code A, and a team that, in general, just seems to be really improving. I mean, obviously, you'd probably agree with that, but from an outsider's perspective, it seems like a lot of their guys have gotten a lot better.
Well, even so, I mean, I've said this many times on cast and in person. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I haven't actually expected anyone to do as well except Gumiho. Gumiho's the guy where I'm like, yeah, he's going to do really well. All the other ones, I'm like, they're going to do pretty well. Lucky, I'm like, he's pretty good, but I don't know if he's going to make it very far. And they've all just really impressed me in general. And
well, we'll have to see if Lucky can keep impressing us like these other guys can. He does have a tough opponent. Sage has been playing really well in the GSL. Let's take a look at those guys right now. There is
Lucky.
FXO Lucky.
He took out Naniwa 2-0 and Dream 2-0.
Yeah.
Wasn't lucky, man. He just actually outclassed.
No luck involved with that, yeah.
Those guys. And Dream did a pretty intense all-in on Crossfire against him, and he held that. And then when the tables were turned and it was Lucky who was doing the aggression, Dream actually couldn't hold it. That's how that series turned out.
His dream became a nightmare.
Exactly.
Frightening.
He woke up and he was like, actually still in the booth. He's like, no, it was real.
He had like this. He's like, I woke up. It's like, oh, I had this dream where I was playing in the GSL, and then the door opens and the coach comes in. It's like, it wasn't a dream. He's like, no.
He's like, oh, I gotta stop sleeping in this booth. I keep waking up and feeling like games that I dream about really happen.
You know, the chairs are comfortable, but it'd be hard on your neck to sleep in the booth. I don't know.
Well, here is Sage. He's got a special in his Hosta jacket with red on it.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
He actually was the captain of the team. I don't know if that's still the case or not. I remember at one time he definitely was. And his team is actually #1 in their division in GSTL, so they actually got to skip a match. They're playing against MVP next.
That's going to be a good match.
That's going to be a really good match.
I love the team weight.
Make sure you guys tune into the team league. It's going to be on Thursday and Friday.
And definitely show GOM your love for the team league too. Like, tweet at GOMTV and tell them how much you like the team league. We want to make sure that it keeps getting better and better, bigger and better. And I suppose you could also tweet at FXO Wolf.
You could.
Or at myself, at Gosudoa.
Yeah, we read all those tweets. We really like to hear from you guys. So tweet at us anytime, ask questions, give comments. You know, I tweet back at some people sometimes. Sometimes I retweet tweets. I actually do that quite a bit.
Retweeting tweets?
I retweet those tweets. Your tweets have been
retweet tweets that are retweetable.
I was trying to think of a different way to say retweeted. Retwat? No, that's not good.
I don't know.
I think I'll just say retweeted.
So the maps for this series are Terminus, Daybreak,
and Antigua has just been coming back, man.
Yeah.
It's the day of Antigua.
I like it. It's a cool map. I don't know. It's just fun. It's a fun map. So we are going to move into our first map. It's going to be Terminus. Who's going to advance to the round of 4? Is it going to be Lucky? Is it going to be Sage? We're about to find out, guys. This is Code A. In the GSL. With Doa and Wolf. Lucky and Sage. Right now.
For else considered.
Alright guys, here we go. Thanks to Sony Ericsson, Intel, and G-Skill for sponsoring the GSL. And here we have our yellow Zerg player from the team FXO. Whoa. That was kind of creepy. Like a little bit more than the other ones, I think, even. I don't know, man. Does he feel lucky? Alright, at the top of the map, we have our blue Protoss player from the team, NS Hoso. The hope for Protoss players everywhere. Artosis' favorite. He is.
I really like that.
Yeah,
voices.
that's cool, man. We need
I can't even get over. We're gonna actually, these voices are gonna be used for years now, and we're just gonna always talk about how we like them.
We need
it's
to
like in
get
6 years, I'm like,
introductions for
these
us.
new voices are pretty good. It's like those new FM radio stations that have actually been around for 4 years. It's the new 95.5. It's like, no, the station's been around for a long time, man.
Yeah, it's like good time, great oldies, and the oldies are from the 90s. It's like, no, that's not right.
Now, we've talked about this a lot, but for some of you guys who missed it, the new version of Terminus has a much narrower choke point here. That's why Sage can do this wall off here quite easily. Normally, you see pro wrestlers try to wall off the more towards their nexus on this map, but in this case, you can actually make a full wall off.
And the other change too is the third base area. It has rocks outside the minerals. Now you have to break down to take the base, and where there used to be destructible rocks blocking a ramp going into the third, there is now just a wall, just a ramp, or not a ramp, a wall.
Very
cliff.
true.
For things like creepers or colossal.
And actually, the nexus right now, we're not getting a shot, is actually being blocked by a drone of Lucky.
You know, Zerg players have been doing this more and more as Protoss players have been wanting to expand faster and faster. A little bit of revenge after all those
severely
months.
denied that nexus. Severely denied it.
Severely
They denied
denied
it for a really long time, and also was able to get away with the drone. So big win there for Lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
His hatchery is finishing up here. He started his pool. It's finishing.
Yep. Right about now.
Sage is actually making his gateway before any cannons because he's had such good scouting. He knows he's on Terminus Re, a pretty large residence. He knows the spawning pool just finished. He can make the cannon later.
Yeah. So, both of these guys doing pretty normal openings. PvZ on a big old map like Terminus Re.
Yeah.
Terminus Re, I guess, because it's like a remake of the remake.
Yeah, the original Terminus, the Blizzard map, is a pretty interesting map.
Yeah.
I've actually played on it a few times with my friends just to see if it was a good map. I don't want to say it's a bad map, but I didn't particularly care for it personally.
Well, it's no Desert Oasis, but I guess it's okay. Desert Oasis brings back fond memories of the beta.
Yeah, whenever I think of Desert Oasis, I don't get upset about the map. I actually just makes me think of when I first got my beta key and started playing on the ladder.
So much fun stuff.
So fun back then.
Colossus dropping.
Colossus dropping. That was actually for any Pro player who did reboot drop. They felt like that was the thing to do. They're like, well, this seems like it's just the logical next step.
You know, that is really what it felt like. I mean, a lot of maps you could do that on early in the beta too, like Kulas Ravine. You could certainly do it on.
Scrap Station was the map for that. There was a bug also where the Colossus could walk across Scrap Station. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do. Where it could like walk off into space for a little while.
Now Lucky is doing something that he did against Naniwa, which is making that third hatchery before the rocks are dead.
I like that. I really like that. I think we're going to see every Zerg player doing that on this map now.
Because you get the extra production from it, and then of course your mining gets better after the rocks are actually gone, but you might as well just put that hatchery down to get the extra production, make some extra drones. This Overlord's going to, its purpose is going to be to hide behind this rock and see whether or not Sage is interested in taking a new base. Very quick Twilight Council going down for Sage.
Okay.
Off of just one gate, he's going up to 4 gases as well here.
This could be some sort of +2 gateway timing, +2 Blink Stalker timing.
We'll have to see. He may end up as well going for a pretty quick DT follow-up. A lot of players like to fast expand the go DTs to control the map.
Well, you know, DTs really can be very, very useful in the mid to late game in these situations too, to do things like harass expansions way away from everything else, like a lot of Zerg players will take on this map. We saw Lucky do that against Naniwa in his games, and Naniwa didn't have DTs, and he had a really hard time handling those. So,
and there is the Dark Shrine.
You're
and
right.
More gateways being added as well. So he is going to be following this up with pretty quick DTs. Not very abnormal to do this against Zerg players.
Oh, the Overlord is going to come in and see the gateways, but
will he see the Dark Shrine? He does see it.
He does. There it is.
But even so, it's not like Sage has done this as a type of, oh, well, I'm going to take a risk and see if I can do damage. He's actually just going to use those DTs to control the map.
Well, Lucky's Evolution Chamber was already like 90% done when he scouted that Dark Shrine. I mean, most Zergs are going to be well prepared for things like DTs these days.
You know what else DTs are good for? Is if Lucky had been planning on doing a Roach Speedling all-in right now, and doing an attack. It would be a little bit of a late one, but if he attacked right now with a bunch of roaches, the DTs would hold it. He wouldn't have a lair. His lair is just starting right now. You can use him defensively. Now he can use him to control the watchtowers. If there are any hidden bases going up, you can kill those. So the Dark Shrine is going to be a great investment.
Oh, hidden robotics facility.
Yeah, he's going to use that to try to drop DTs for the most likely, or just do zealot harassment.
You know what else DTs are good for?
What's that?
Getting an advantage in dodgeball. Just have the DT like run and grab someone on the other team. You can hit him no problem. So I use my DT.
That was actually like, I was like, I don't know what he's going to say. I'm like, I think I covered all the bases. I'm like, map control. I'm like, I don't know, map control, killing drones,
outside the box,
defense. I'm like, I don't know what else he's going to say. And you're like, dodgeball. I'm like, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, they would be, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Doa's got all these good points today, man. He's teaching me about places you can warp in things on Antigua, and he's teaching me about how you can use DTs for dodgeball. Exactly. Now, there's one spore in the main, and 4 DTs kill a spore pretty quickly. Yeah, they do. You know what else 4 DTs kill pretty quickly? A lair. 4 DTs can most likely kill the lair before an Overseer is done morphing if Lucky doesn't react immediately.
Well, just ask Nesty how good DTs in the main base killing lairs are.
Here we go. The DTs are going to be dropped. And in fact, Lucky sees this.
Oh, and is he going to go right for the spore?
Oh, he's actually warping in more DTs. Goes for the spore. And now these DTs will be able to kill this lair long before an Overseer will come out. He's learning from MVP Tails.
Yeah, no kidding. This is going to be something we're going to see a lot in the future, I think. The lair is...
And now he can actually go and take out this evolution chamber. He can get the Roach Warren as well.
Wow, this is actually insane.
Roach speed is not going to finish. And these DTs will be cleaned up, but there's more DTs in the Warp Prism. This is awesome by Sage.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I was hoping we would see after 1.4 with the Warp Prism buff.
This is reminding me of I Am Seedman just doing weird stuff like this, and it's just working.
Oh, look at that. All the roaches pop out, so it's kind of a bad time for Sage. He's going to pick up those.
And the Warp Prism gets out, man, with that new hit point.
Yeah.
Hit points on the shield. Now, look at this, Sage adding 3 cannons at the front of his base because he knows now he's vulnerable to an attack. He knows there are a lot of roaches out. He doesn't have very many actual units. He only has DTs. So he's making a lot of cannons as he prepares to take his third.
Oh, I like this. Lucky getting drops for his overlords as well. He's going to try to do something like that. Sage may not be expecting it.
Now remember, there's also only one Overseer out right now, and he actually does not have a lair. So he actually has to be very careful with how he moves. If he loses that one Overseer, he's going to lose his presence on the map. And look at this. He's actually sending a Voider around to clean up Overlords.
Yeah, this is so good by Sage to follow this up with things like Void Rays and all that. And he's going to warp in more things. If he can kill the Queens with the Zealots and things like that, obviously the Void Rays are going to do a lot more damage.
Yeah, these Zealots, this Zealots were a little bit overzealous.
Yeah,
now the main base of Lucky is actually still extremely exposed, and his spawning pool actually is dying a slow death without creep, but the hatchery that's been remade there will slowly bring it back to life.
Yep. Revive it.
Now, there's no robotic support bay for Sage. He's not making Colossi. Ooh.
Oh, is he actually picking up the Queens too? He is.
Yeah, he's going to do a pretty massive drop here.
Oh,
but remember,
Void
if the
Ray.
Overseer goes down, then the DTs can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a bunch of Stalkers there too.
Is he going to target the Overseer?
And what's he going to do? The Overseer's in the back.
Overseer's in the back. The Void Ray may target it, but he actually isn't targeting. The Roaches are doing a lot of damage.
Oh, man.
And he's actually going for the Queens. I think this is going to end the game for Sage.
I think it very well could.
The Overseer is still vulnerable. He's not targeting. He's trying to go for the Queen, so his Void Rays can deal the damage after there's no anti-air.
Good force fields, though, too.
Good force fields. The Stalker's doing damage. The DT is doing damage where the Overseer is not around. And the Queens look like they may fall here. He has enough for Transfuse, but doesn't use it.
Wow.
And Sage holds, killing Overlords here. Lucky may have botched the attack just a little bit. Both players making a few small mistakes, but Sage definitely getting the better end of the deal here.
Really good idea by Lucky, but yeah, just the execution wasn't quite as crisp as it maybe should have been.
27 roaches in production right now, though.
That's a lot of roaches.
That is a lot of roaches. But remember, they are slow roaches. They don't even have roach speed.
Yep.
The lair is just finished, so he's going to probably start roach speed again very soon. And remember, there was a quite a long period of time where Sage was on 3 base to 2 base because of that Lair's destruction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sage, he is down in supply right now, you can see, but in terms of tech, in terms of workers, basically, he's keeping up very easily with Lucky.
And look at this, Void Ray picking off creep tumors. We've seen Sage do this before.
Yeah.
Something he's really known for, and why not do it when your opponent only has roaches out?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's going to Archon drop on the mineral line.
Oh, this is going to be so sick.
I think there's going to be enough roaches to hold it off, but
he may target down some drones.
Yeah, he's actually just going to pick him up again. Roaches can't do anything about that at all.
Did kill a few workers, about 4 or 5 there.
Yep. And Lucky is supply blocked right now. That Void Ray is still out there killing Overlords, too.
Queens have been dropped back down, or he's actually loading up roaches again. He left his queens, though, decided not to drop those. Archon's dropping again in the main, though, killing so many more drones this time.
Oh, man.
A total of 18 workers killed in all that harassment.
We're seeing Warp Prism drops again. We are back to the beta.
I know,
great.
Look at this.
So happy.
Sage, though, is completely ready for this. He even had some probes over there. I'm not sure what they were for.
Moral support. He's going to try to drop by the mineral line. Look
he's blocking it. Putting the pylons so the roaches can't drop. Nice move by Sage. That's really intelligent.
Wow. All right, all right.
And now the pylons have actually helped block these roaches as well as these force fields, and Sage is winning this fight quite convincingly. He's losing a few probes, but the roaches in the back just cannot fire.
Still a lot of roaches, Sage.
Yeah, there still are a lot of roaches, and he doesn't have Blink.
Yeah, that is a dangerous amount, but look at this. Archon's in the main again, killing Overlords.
GG!
Oh, I can't believe it. That was a beautiful PvP.
Now, I watched Sage play. I heard myths about this guy. I heard stories. I'd heard tales of Sage. And Sage heard tales of a man named Tails, and he thought, you know, I noticed that Dark Templar can kill a lair that's morphing pretty fast.
That sounds like a good idea. I think I'm going to try it.
Or kill a lair that's already done. Either way, that was just a really interesting technique by Sage. And, you know, here's a stat for you guys. If you have 5 DTs attacking a lair, you can kill the lair in faster than the build time for an Overseer. And even if an Overseer is even if the Overseer is morphing and you only have 4 DTs, the Overseer has to fly over there. Wow. He made a ton of DTs. He scouted what was going on over there, too. He knew what was going on, and he was like, all right, well, I can make this work.
I wasn't ready to jump on the whole Sage bandwagon, like everybody. I tried to, just wait until I watched some games, but Sage won me over that game.
That game, all right.
Really creative, really
Don't
good.
get too excited about that game. That game, there were a lot of flukes. There were a lot of weird things that happened. The pylon block, though, you cannot deny was genius. That was actually just genius.
When have you seen that before? The answer
I've
is
never seen that before.
Yeah.
And the Dark Templar drop, we've seen sort of similar things to that. It was pretty smart. But we didn't see like crazy macro or anything like that. We just saw awesome little things from Sage. So we can see that he's got a lot of potential just from watching this.
Well, his execution of when he does those, his decision-making for when to do it, how to do it, was just really, really good.
And what we see in this game, to me, as a Protoss player especially, and to a lot of Protosses out there I think are seeing the same thing, is the potential of the Protoss race that has not yet been seen.
That's what a lot of people have been talking about. People are like, oh, Protoss is doing so badly lately, but a lot of top Protoss players, such as OGSMC, have relied on so many of these timing attacks, and other races have just figured them out at this point. Protoss are going to need to innovate. Yeah. Sage is one of the people kind of leading the way with that.
4 DTs and a dropship can do so much damage. Then, when you're kind of tired of doing that, you take your 4 DTs, you make them into 2 Archons, and you drop with those, and that same Warp Prism. Why not?
Why not, man? It's what you got to do when you want to be a Protoss champion.
I like Sage, man. I like him. Before I was like, I haven't been extremely impressed, but he did well. He did well to get here. But that game showcased so many Protoss abilities that we just have not seen. The Dark Templar timing was pretty good. It was pretty normal, but what he did with it, proxied a Robo, and used that Warp Prism, has just not been seen.
Well, what are we going to see on Daybreak? We're about to find out. FXO Lucky versus NSOSO Sage here on the GSL Code A with Dylan Wolf. Game's about to start, guys. Let's see who comes out on top.